Hi y'all, I'm Allison. I'm back for a bonus round of the Halloween edition of Just Spin It. Today we are playing for Phenexrose. Not only is it Halloween, but it's also their birthday in October, so got like a double celebration. So everybody be sure to wish Phenexrose a very happy birthday. And we are going to be picking a TBR that's actually going to take them through the rest of the year. So they really enjoy Victorian ghost stories around Christmas time. So perfect time to pick some of those out as well. So I'm going to be trying to keep that in mind and going for your normal spooky season type books. So to also add an extra little flair to this one, I am going to try to land with a multiple of 3 for our book total. So we'll see how this works. We thought it would be kind of fun to play around with. We are going to start with 6 spins, but if I get extras, I have to keep going until I end up with a multiple of 3. We'll see how this goes. All right, we have to replace a couple that were left off the board from my round. So let's do that first, and then we'll start spinning right away. Yes, Lily wants to tell you. Let me see if I can bring this down. Here's Lily. Come here, girl. Come here. She wants to say happy birthday, Phenexrose. So she brought her toy. I'm going to take it away so we don't have to hear the squeaking. If she does squeak anymore. Yeah, so she says happy birthday. What? Oh. Okay, my camera might be all wonky now, but I think Lily was worth it. She still has her sheep, but she broke the squeaker. All right, so let's replace 6 with Urban Legend. And we only have a few of these left, so we're going to put, you know what? Let's do it. Let's put Beware back up. If you saw mine, you know this is, it means it, beware. Let's begin. $19. Gonna start off with the witch's hat. Poison. Ooh, that'll be interesting. So the way this is going to work, I am going to be recommending a book from my library, and I'll also be going through Phenexrose's books on a storygraph and finding something that's either something that they just want to read or what they already own. So we'll be getting double recommendations for each prompt. Okay, so I'm actually filming this in 2 parts, so you might see some funky changes because it is now closing in on midnight, and I think I finally found a winning combination of books. So we're going to start piecing all of this together. Anyway, we're going to start you out for Poison. I've got Agatha Christie to the rescue. This is The Mysterious Affair at Styles, Hercule Poirot's debut novel. Who poisoned the wealthy Emily Igglethorpe, and how did the murderer penetrate and escape from her locked bedroom? All comes down to that. It's Agatha Christie. You know it's going to be a home run. So that's the book from my library. Let me grab one that was in yours. All right, Phenexrose, I know you've read This Poison Heart and you really enjoyed it, but you're planning to reread the first one before moving on to This Wicked Fate. So wherever you are in this series, if you have reread it, then go ahead and pick up book 2. If not, then get the first one officially on your list. So we have Briseis. She has the ability to grow plants at the touch of a finger. So poison definitely plays a big role in this series. And for anyone who hasn't read this yet, I highly recommend it. And I know Phenexrose enjoyed it just as much as I did. So we did it. We got it on your list. I had to replace 19. Let's go with this little pumpkin. Nightmares. Just has to have nightmares be part of the main plot. All right. Are you ready for your second spin, Phenexrose? Number 2. Raven on cover. All right, see if we can find the bird. I'm sure there's a few ravens flying around here somewhere. So from my library, I have The Book Without Words by Avi. This is a fable of medieval magic. So there is a book that appears to be full of nothing but blank parchment. But for a green-eyed reader with enough desire, the pages will actually fill in and disclose secrets of dark magic from Northumbria, including the forgotten arts of making gold and achieving immortality. For generations, its magic has been protected from those who would exploit it. But on the terrible day of death and destruction, The Book Without Words falls into the hands of a desperate boy. I thought this one might be right up your alley. I know you like alchemy and all of that, and I'm curious to see if this book is good. I did see some mixed reviews on this. I'll warn you on that. But I think people were looking for a more fleshed out story. This is a fable, so it's going to be like a fairy tale, to where you just kind of jump in and get your lesson from it. Okay, from your library, I found Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro. I'm going to guess this is a raven. I'm not positive, but it's a big black bird, so we're going to call it close enough. So it's 1882 in Victorian London, and we've got 2 children with the mysterious magical powers being hunted by a man made of smoke. So we have Charlie, whose body will heal itself whether he wants it to or not, and a Marlowe who has a strange bluish glow to him, and he can mend or melt flesh. So these 2 are going to be escorted from London to Scotland by 2 grisly detectives, and where they're going to meet up with other children with special abilities or talents, where the world of the dead and the world of the living threaten to collide. So I've seen this cover before, but I never knew what it was about, and I think I'm going to have to add this one to my wish list. So this looks really intriguing. Let's replace that with a locked door mystery. So house party, locked door kind of situation. Oh, and while I have these, let's do our name a book. So I'm going to just grab one of these. Let's see. We will go with, what's this? Right here. They're all kind of sticking together. Check your books for any with a spider on the cover. So that's, again, name a book. We're not committed to read it or add it to our list. It's just to see how many different books we all know of that have a spider on the cover. And it might come up later in the game. All right, we're ready for spin number 3. 7. We've got a skull. Grim Reaper. So anything featuring the Grim Reaper. Did you automatically know what book I was going to recommend? Because I love this book and I can't help but push it every opportunity I have because it just needs more hype around it. And that is Croak by Gina D'Amico. This book is so fun. Phenexrose, I bet you would love it. We have, what was her name? Lex. She's 16. She's getting in a lot of trouble at home. Her parents are fed up. They send her out to the boondocks to live with her Uncle Mort for the summer, thinking that this is going to, make her reevaluate the choices she's making in life if she's exiled out to the farm. Unbeknownst to them, her Uncle Mort is a Grim Reaper, and she's going to be groomed to join the family business, which is also why she behaves the way she does. She's aggressive and whatnot. All the things she will need to be to follow in her family's legacy. Some of the humor in this is just, it's right up my alley. So Croak is definitely what I'm recommending from my library. And from yours, I'm going to go with The House in Poplar Wood by K.E. Ormsby. This one might be a stretch. It was hard to find the Grim Reaper. You didn't really have any of those within your list that you showed me. But I think since one of the characters is Death, we're going to see if we can stretch that to include the Grim Reaper. And it makes sense to me. So we've got the Vickery twins, who, for as long as I can remember, can only leave their house on Halloween. So during the rest of the year, Lee, one of the children, and his mother serve memory. And Felix, with his father, assists Death. So when you're on Halloween, Gretchen Wimple, I believe, shows up in their life, and she's got a deal for them. If they help her solve a murder, then she will see that the agreement is broken, which I assume would release this family from serving memory and death. This is a middle grade, and I am really intrigued by this one. This sounds like a good time. So I hope that fits the Grim Reaper. You'll have to let me know if you decide to read it. So let's move on. And let's add a black cat. This is any book from Once Upon a Book Club that is scary. Okay, we're up to our fourth spin already. Number 5. Got a witch. Haunted Woods. Okay, this was tricky. I was trying to find something with like literally urban legend, haunted woods, don't go in there. So, but I came up with The Lake by Natasha Preston. They're camp counselors. So they're out at a lake. There's woods all around, and they think there is something out in the woods. Welcome to Camp Pine Lake, where the only thing scarier than a ghost story is the past coming to haunt you. This one, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It had kind of like the 80s horror movies vibe to it. Those your standard, but there's something out there, something gonna get you. So I'm gonna call this Haunted Woods. Ooh, I guess if we wanted to go the more traditional route, I could have said The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. The audiobook with Tom Meissen as a narrator is just incredible. It's short and definitely Haunted Woods. If you haven't listened to that and you have access to it, then definitely give that recording a listen because it was so good. Okay, so from yours, and this one sounds really good too, The River at Night by Erica Fenrick. So Winifred Allen has recently lost her brother. He has passed away, and her 15-year marriage has ended. So when her friends propose a girls' weekend, she is all for it. She needs a vacation. So off they go to the wilderness in Maine. So it starts off as an invigorating hiking and rafting expedition until things go wrong, and the women are separated from the raft and everything they need to survive. So night goes on. It turns out that their saviors may not be all they seem to be. Again, I'm going to have to add this to my wish list. Doing these, I just end up with more and more books that I want to read. Again, I'm not sure if that technically is Haunted Woods, but it's definitely out in the woods. So we're going to call it. It just may be missing the haunted portion. We'll find out after we read them. All right, let's move on. I'm liking our variety. So let's go with Gothic. That's nice and wide open. Cute little jack-o'-lantern. 5th spin. 7. We're just making our way around the top. Got a black cat. So we have Once Upon a Book Club. I'm going to go through. I've got both adult or YA and find one that fits the scary prompt. I am going to pull out another book that I have pushed quite a few times, and this is the Mary Shelley Club. I absolutely love this. Yeah, so on this we have Rachel. She is a scholarship student at a prep school. She's just moving there. And to help her adjust to some things that she's had in the past, she turns to horror movies as her escapism. Soon after arriving to this prep school, Rachel finds herself embroiled in a prank that has gone awry, and she has become public enemy number 1 at the school. But unbeknownst to her, there's this secret society, the Mary Shelley Club, and they decide to recruit her to join their club, and they are all about pranks and horror movies. So this is a dream come true to her. She might find a group to belong to that is just as obsessed with horror movies as she is. Before you know it, the pranks escalate and things get a little deadly. So we get a lot of horror movie references in this book, which is one of the things I absolutely loved. It's perfect for Halloween, for getting those Halloween vibes, just all the movie references. I'm going to adjust this prompt a little bit because you don't subscribe to it, so they're not in your list. But this I got from the Owl Crate, and it is in your list. So I'm just going to open this up to sub boxes. And this is such a good book. And despite being middle grade, it was quite eerie and scary at times. It's the plentiful darkness. So in order to survive, 12-year-old Rooney captures moonlight in her magical lunar mirror, all while trying to avoid the roughhouse rivalry, these other kids that are also living on the streets, and a more dangerous threat, the magician who has been causing children to disappear. So when one of these roughhouse boys steals her mirror, she'll do anything necessary to get it back, including following him into the hole of darkness that this evil magician has laid. So she goes down there and finds a whole new world, and it is so creepy, so atmospheric, so good, so unique. Read The Plentiful Darkness by Heather Kastner. Lily is now laying down right at my feet. In honor of her, let's put up another black cat spider on cover. Hey, this could potentially be our last spin. Are you ready, Phenexrose? Number 12. An orange cover. Nice and open. Guess what they redid? They redid the cover for Hounded by Kevin Hearn. I feel like this whole list is just me pushing my absolute favorites, but Hounded, if you haven't read it, is just incredible. We have Atticus. He is the last remaining druid, and he's hiding out in Arizona. He's hiding from the ancient gods, and they are looking for him, and they're going to come find him soon. You get all sorts of supernatural, paranormal beings in this one, witches, vampires, werewolves. You get from all different folklores, Celtic gods, Greek, Egyptian. It's all in here, and it is so good how Kevin Hearn managed to meld all this together so well. I don't know, but it's just great. He's got a dog, Oberon, as his companion, best friend, and he's able to communicate telepathically with the dog. The dog is one of the best characters. Absolutely love it. If you haven't read Hounded yet, get it. It's so good. And from yours for orange, I'm going to go with Scritch Scratch by Lindsay Curry. So based on real Chicago history, we have malevolent spirit, an unlucky girl, and a mystery that will tie the two together. Okay, so Claire is very science-minded, and there's nothing worse than having to help her father out on his ghost-based Chicago bus tours. But she gets roped into it, and there she is. And it's okay. She sees at the back of the bus there's a boy, and he's got a strange look in his eye, and there's just something quite not right about him. She notices at the end of the tour he's not there. So later, she's got the number 396 showing up everywhere, and she's hearing this scritch, scratch, and she's being followed by the boy, and she thinks he's a ghost, and he's haunting her. So this looks like another good, fun one, and I believe this is another middle grade. So I know you love those, and I didn't intentionally put this many on there, but it's okay. I'm sure you're not minding. You didn't get to go trick-or-treating. I wonder if I should have forced it. You do have until the end of the year to finish this TBR. So I'm going to do it. We're going to spin again for your trick or treat, because you have to trick or treat. It's October. Keeping in mind I don't think all of these add a book necessarily. So we might be able to stop with these 6 books, or we might have to just go on to 9 or 12, 13. Hopefully I'm not about to walk into a big trap, but we will find out. So are you ready to be a little adventurous, Phenexrose? Because we're doing it. After we replace number 12, which let's put up this Bat Werewolves. Okay, here we go. This is just for up top. Trick or treat. 23. So 5, 10, 15, 23. I don't remember what boo is. It's a trick. It's a tome. And I know exactly what book that will be. Okay, you knew it was coming. I did it. I got it on here for you. European Travel for the Monstrous Gentlewoman by Theodora Goss. I know you are really wanting to read this before the end of the year, so here it is, all 708 pages of it. This is from my library and yours. I believe you are currently rereading The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. So, yeah, tome. We got it on there. It's official. Finish it by the end of the year. And in case you're feeling extra ambitious, I notice we both have another one. The Historian. Another tome. I love this book. I've read it at least twice, maybe more, although I'll admit it's been a while. This one is only 642 pages though. But this is by Elizabeth Kostova. So late one night, a young woman exploring her father's library finds an ancient book and a cache of yellowing letters, all addressed to my dear and unfortunate successor. They plunge her into a world she has never dreamed of, a labyrinth where the secrets of her father's past and her mother's mysterious fate connect to an inconceivable evil hidden in the depths of history. It's part travelogue, part historical fiction, and it's going to all relate back to Vlad the Impaler. And it is such a good book. It is one that you want to take at a slower pace. It's a very slow paced book, but it is worth it. Worth every hour you spend in it. So, The Historian. I probably didn't give it its due because I'm a little sleepy, and I'm also trying not to wake up my entire household. Okay, let's replace that with, I don't know why I'm doing it that way. Let's put up Trick or Treat. Okay, since we're aiming for a multiple 3 with books, we need to keep going because right now we are on number 7. Phenexrose, I hope you're not throwing things at the screen and just mumbling under your breath at me, but I have a feeling you'll be happy I did this. So let's go. Number 7. Doesn't that keep coming up? Yeah, I think this is like the 3rd time. You were lucky I didn't put that one in play. So, Spider on cover. You'll have plenty of extra options, hopefully down in the comments. But I will find something. Okay, knowing that this TBR is going to take you through to the end of the year, I'm kind of jumping seasons here. I have got Mrs. Claus and the Santa Land Slayings. This was actually recommended by Kimberly K. And I don't remember which video it was, but I looked it up after she was talking about it, and I had to go out and get it because it was like, yes. But here we have a spider. So April Claus, Merry Santa, and love is full of surprises. She didn't realize she was marrying the real life Santa Claus. She loves her husband. She's adjusting to life at the North Pole, but realizing it's not all sugar plums and candy canes, especially when a cantankerous elf named Giblet Hollyberry is killed, felled by a black widow spider in his stocking, shortly after publicly arguing with Nick, her husband. Santa Claus. Christmastown is hardly a hotbed of crime, aside from mishaps caused by eggnog, but April disagrees with Constable Crinkle's verdict of accidental death, and she sets out to find the culprit. But she's putting the future of Christmas online and hoping her own name isn't on the lethal naughty list. So if you do read this one, the second book is Mrs. Claus and the Halloween Homicide. I don't know if these necessarily need to be read in order, because this is actually book 1 and this is actually book 2. I wish it was reversed, so I don't know. Here we go. If you get through this, then you can do this, because they're going to celebrate Halloween for the first time in Christmastown. I want to read them, but I want to go in order. So you might see these coming back in December. By the way, Kimberly, thank you for bringing my attention to those. I'm really excited to get to them myself. Okay, I'm bringing out another one I've talked about before, because I really think you would love this book, Phenexrose. I think it's right up your alley. And oddly enough, another middle grade. But we have our spider, and this is the Cabinet of Wonders. Petra's father is a steampunk inventor. She has this little mechanical spider, sentient mechanical spider that lives in her hair. And she goes off on a quest to save her father's eye. It's been stolen by the prince. And she runs into a Romany boy, and together they break into the palace to retrieve her father's eye from the prince, and there's all sorts of steampunk inventions and everything going on. It's such a good book. I really think you would enjoy this. And I did notice that you must have been intrigued by it last time, because it is in your list of books to read. So there's the little nudge. And let's replace that with TBR jar. So let's see if we can get something besides 7. I'll vary how hard I'm spinning. I think I'm just very consistent. Oh, yeah, much better. Number 8. Witches. All right. Let me give it. I bet you know what I'm going to grab. Thought I'd do you a solid, and from both of our lists, go with A Discovery of Witches, because I know you have at least started this if you haven't finished it. Another one that I absolutely love. I think I've probably read this at least 3 times. Lots of the academia vibes to it. You've got witches and vampires, and our main character is Claire, Diana. She has been trained to keep magic out of her life. She's actually a witch, but she doesn't want anything to do with it after she lost her parents. She can only ignore who she is for so long, because the magic it's going to burst out, and she's just going to have to deal with it. So she accidentally calls up an ancient manuscript while studying at the Bodleian Library out in England, and it draws all the creatures from the supernatural world to the area, putting her at risk. The house is one of my favorite characters. Magical house. That's all I'm going to say. But it's awesome. If you do manage to read this, then for the witch's prompt, I'm going to give you part 2, which is Shadow of Night. So good. This time, Diana goes back to Elizabethan times, Tudor England, and 2 of the things I love. Awesome series. If you haven't read it yet, grab it. And I know you have plenty of books to choose from for the witch prompt. So I think I'm going to leave it with that, since they were on both of our lists. So yeah, there you go. We did it. We got your Halloween TBR all set, and this should take you through to the end of the year. I hope some of these will still be applicable for you in November and December. I didn't really get the opportunity to work many ghost stories in here, but we'll just have to play again later. Phenexrose, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and I wish you a very happy birthday. I hope it just goes incredible for you all month long, and that we found some good books for you to read. And my mind went blank, so I'm just going to leave it here. If y'all enjoyed this, be sure and hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you're so inclined. And I look forward to see you in the next one. So, all right, y'all have a great one, and I'll catch you next time. Bye now.